in your face.
No. Good morning. It's Todd and Erin Morning stream on GetBartDaily.com.
This was a heck of a weekend. Everybody okay this morning? Good morning.
Are the mountains okay?
The mountains are fine, I think. Let's go to that and just make sure. It's of course, the Morning Mountain Gambit is brought to you by Black Diamond Experts, Electric, Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Thank you guys so much. Because, and everybody on Facebook, good morning. I know it's a weird day. Everyone's still kind of shell-shocked from everything that happened over the weekend. And if you catch up on a little bit of this really briefly, there was violence that turned deadly in Virginia, Charlottesville, Virginia, as they were protesting the removal of a Confederate monument. Now, there was a large group of white nationalists.
Carrying torches.
KKK, Nazis, you know the kind, who basically went into a clash with the people who were saying, no, this is...
Which is a small
we
group.
We live here in Charlottesville.
It was a small group.
We approve of this statue being removed, and it turned deadly. One of the protesters, the Nazi protesters, drove a car into the crowd. It was a mess. And Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe actually declared a state of emergency.
Did he say it well?
Because it was just insane. He came out and he was amazing.
Boom. He called it what it was, white supremacy, KKK, and he said they have no place in this city and no place in America. And he had the strongest statement, except for Hatch.
Senator Orrin Hatch was very cool. Number one, he was funny. He said their tiki torches may be fueled by citronella, but their ideas were fueled by hate and have no place in civil society. If you see the picture of the protesting neo-Nazis, they're all carrying torches. What a shock there. He also said we should call evil by its name. My brother didn't give his life fighting Hitler for Nazi ideas to go unchallenged here at home. And you think about that for veterans. I mean, you've got to be kidding me.
My dad kicked the Nazis' butt. Now it's our turn
World
again.
War II, and we're going through this again here. It seems a little out of control.
So there was a huge, if you watched any of the coverage, during the fighting and stuff like that, everyone had their phones out. And everyone, if they weren't involved, then everyone was, taking images and
trying to find out
video.
what happened,
Well, with the video...
Well, it's interesting. There was a gentleman on Twitter who started the account, Yes, You're Racist. And he started posting all the pictures of the neo-Nazi and white supremacist protesters.
So he was taking a big picture and going, that's you.
Says, do you know this guy? Does he go to your church? Do you work with him? Is he in your family? Just thought you'd want to know what he was doing this weekend. There's been a lot of response.
So... basically,
a lot of response, yeah.
Now, the more people know about this and it's buzzing around, they're all sending their video or just isolating faces and sending them to him, and he's posting them and everyone's sharing them. I thought it was kind of interesting.
I really love what John McCain said. Now, Senator John McCain, of course, he was a prisoner of war.
Forever.
He was a relentless patriot. This is a man who fought for our country. And he said, white supremacists are not patriots. They're traitors. Americans must unite against hatred and bigotry. I thought that was amazing. And Barack Obama wrote, no one is born hating another person because of the color of their skin or their background or their religion. This, of course, is a quote from Nelson Mandela. And he finished, people must learn to hate. And if they can be taught to learn to hate, they can also be taught to love.
The only thing I want to say is the fact that someone didn't tweet. Somebody didn't tweet about such an important event.
Someone who likes tweeting a lot.
Well, he tweets about other things.
Many things.
About how many people were at his inauguration. But this wasn't important enough for him to do. That's all I'm going to say. So we want to move on with the show today, and I got to tell you about a story. One of my favorite places in the world.
Home Depot.
Home Depot.
They've actually offered Todd a job before at Home Depot because he's there so often. And other customers will stop and go, I don't know where this is. And he goes, oh, it's aisle 11. Go ahead. You can
I can do it. I'm a stunt helper. All I need is orange vest, and I'm ready to go. Mm-hmm. Except they wear a lot of flair.
Have you noticed that?
They do.
It's like a whole, A
lot of flair. I'm not comfortable with too much flair.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, so this gentleman was there, and he bought 10 separate gallon cans of paint, because I didn't have that paint in a 5-gallon container, which some paints you can't, because it's just a tinting project. I go too far. Now, so what he's done is he's taken them to court, because out of those 10 gallons, he was shorted, my friends.
Really?
128 fluid ounces. I will say that again. 108 fluid ounces out of 10 gallons. Then that's not good enough for him.
Okay.
According to the Pennsylvania Code, that requires declaration of net quantities in the largest hold unit, they were in violation of that. So he wants, guess what he wants? Don't look.
I think I would like an official apology to like everybody from Home Depot. I would go with for that first, sir, and then maybe 50 trillion gazillion dollars.
First of all, has anybody ever run out of paint because we always buy too much? He wants $50 additional for the cans that came up short.
Oh, so he wants repayment. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's some damages. Yeah, $50 million.
So he wants them to pay him for the paint, but then he wants an additional $50 million for his
Pain
and suffering.
Pain and suffering. Oh,
It
punitive damage. Yeah, pain and suffering.
It takes a long time to measure all those fluid ounces, pal. You know what he missed out on?
It's true.
Like things.
I wasn't thinking.
I'm a little disappointed in you.
128 fluid ounces, 50 million. How much is that? An ounce? A lot. Home Depot. Don't pick on our Home Depot, mister.
You know, I really
You
wish,
just go to Lowe's instead.
I really wish that we had Rocky the crime-fighting parrot over the weekend at our home.
We'll explain
Because
more
he was
about
highly
that.
useful.
What happened?
There was a man who was brought to justice after being bitten by an African gray parrot during a botched raid on the owner's home.
No, home invasion is what they're saying. Okay.
Okay, Vital Kilesov, God, I hope I said that right.
Call him
Is a
Frank.
serial burglar who was finally brought to justice when he was attacked by the family's pet,
There
Rocky.
he is, the dirty rotten.
And the 37-year-old man was burglaring the couple's home during the dead of night. He snatched a laptop and a phone before spotting Rocky in his cage. And then he thought, I will steal the parrot and try to sell him for up to $500. Which I guess
dirty.
African grays are quite expensive,
And the African
right?
gays are too.
That's true, but primarily we're talking about the African gray
Gray.
in this story.
Yes.
But Rocky's damage was done, and the burglar's blood poured all over the room, leaving DNA samples for police to place him there.
And they had
The gray
samples,
fought back,
right?
biting him on the hand, and the crew was furious and threw him out the window to try to get him off his hand. But
Right.
that doesn't matter. It was fairly easy for them to find him after that. They found blood by the door. He was on the database. They nailed him, and Rocky had a short trip to the vet. He's fine, and he's
Oh, my
back at
gosh.
home, and so was all the property.
That's so
Good for him,
funny.
honey.
All right,
I just have this picture of the guy running around going, ah, with an African gray attached to his hand.
and African grays can talk. They're one of the best talking birds
They're
as far as
adorable.
parrots go.
It's true.
So now he has something to tell. He has a story to tell.
You know, I've always heard the joke about fruit cake being like honey that like it lasts forever and like Twinkies.
Changing gears here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not.
No.
I won't accept that because I won't consume fruitcake. But
British explorer Robert Falcon Scott. And if you notice, all the English adventurers always use three names.
well, that's got a gravitas
Always.
to it. A
Robert
certain weight.
Falcon Scott. And so basically, he was in Antarctica and he found something. Now, this is so cool. This item is indestructible in this coldest, windiest, and driest place on Earth.
Well, that pretty much just sort of freezes everything to immobility. That's not surprising.
This is the Antarctica. And in 1910-1913, Terra Nova expedition went up there. And there's a hut up there, and they all made it better, and they all hid in it so they wouldn't die. And a group that went before them left something behind, and it looks like this.
Yeah.
It's a 100-year-old fruitcake. The whole thing.
I would just like to point out something fairly obvious.
Yeah.
That even the explorers in the Antarctic with nothing else to do or eat
Right.
refused to consume the fruitcake.
It was either this or blubber. Now, if you think
And
of
they
it
went
that
for
way,
blubber.
and they left the fruit. They had 100 years to think about this, and no one who went to the shelter decided to chow down because it's fruitcake. And I don't care if you're saying that thing is disgusting looking, the package. On the inside, it's even worse. Such a good point. 100 years and no one still would eat it. Blubber fruitcake.
Yeah. I know that the only thing I've got is raw whale blubber. I know that it's 47 below and I'm probably going to die here, but I'm still not eating the fruitcake.
Pass the blubber.
I mean, that's a pretty clear choice. I'm just
Oh my
saying
gosh.
that pretty we're honest here. Okay, let's go to Daisy in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. Lots of stuff over the weekend to talk about. But it's brought to you by Fink and McGregor. Mortgages made simple. If you'd like to take the 4-minute mortgage challenge, just go to fink-mcgregor.com. And also by Executive Transportation, with a fleet of beautiful Escalades marches ready to take you anywhere you need to go in style and professionalism. Just go to executiveutah.com to book your ride. And All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. 24 hours service, and they are there every time there's an emergency or you just want to change something about your house. They're the guys to do it. AllUtahPlumbing.com. Good morning, Daisy. What's going on today?
Hello, everyone. Here's what's making news headlines Monday, August 14th on GephartDaily.com. Police are investigating a fatal officer-involved shooting in downtown Salt Lake City Sunday night. Sergeant Brandon Shearer of the Salt Lake City Police Department told Gephardt Daily the shooting took place about 10:17 p.m. near 1002 South State Street. According to Shearer, a Salt Lake City police officer had stopped a man for questioning and was being joined by 2 backup officers when the man pulled a weapon. Officers initiated de-escalation tactics in an attempt to bring the situation under control, but the officer who originally stopped the man ended up opening fire. The man who was shot was described only as an adult African-American male. He was rushed by ambulance to Intermountain Medical Center in Murray, where he died a short while later. A woman is in critical condition after she and a companion were hit by an SUV near 200 South and State Street late Sunday night. The woman, who is in her early 20s, was in a crosswalk when she was hit. She was taken to the hospital with serious head injuries, and her companion was treated by paramedics and released. An Ogden woman is recovering after being struck by a bullet as she lay sleeping inside her home. Police got a call of shots fired in the area of 328th Street Sunday just after 12:10 a.m. Officers arrived and found the home had been hit multiple times and that a 47-year-old victim was critically wounded inside. And now let's take a look at the Wasatch Front forecast, where Monday will be partly cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms. High temps will be in the upper 80s, and expect more clouds with a chance of rain Tuesday and Wednesday. That's it for now. For more local headlines 24/7, go to GephartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you so much, my dear Daisy. Fink and McGregor, I was telling you about Mortgages Made Simple, and there's a reason that's kind of their buzzword, because it really is embarrassingly simple. It doesn't have to be as bad as it's been for you before. And believe me, I've had a mortgage where I went through that process with a bank, and it pretty much was the most torturous 4 months of my life. And after I'm signing it, realizing the bank's getting over $8,000 in closing fees for torturing me, it really kind of took the fun out of the whole thing of buying a house. But see, here's the joy of Fink and McGregor. They get this, and it has to be a simple process. And it can be. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, there's a 4-minute piece of information there. You fill it out within less than 5 minutes. It gives you some ideas and some options. And if you want to, within the next business day, they'll give you a call and go, you want to take a look at some stuff with us? Because there's a million different kinds of mortgages, and you're not necessarily expected to know what they are. Fortunately, you don't have to, because they do. It's kind of their job. So they can walk you through it, make it as easy as possible. It's usually in a month or so, and you're done. And you've got your new place. Fink-McGregor.com. Wow. Wow, there's sometimes I'm almost embarrassed to be a woman.
May I say something? Isn't this like a Carrie Underwood song?
It's actually worse, because at least Carrie Underwood didn't like blow up.
Well, let's find out
her boyfriend's car. So
okay.
It's a West Valley woman. She's facing criminal charges for arson and vandalism after police say she set fire to her ex-boyfriend's car and threatened to have a gang shoot up his house just 2 days after he broke up with her.
The operative word is X.
Yeah, Katia Guadalupe Ontiveros Navarez, who's 20, was charged Friday in 3rd District Court with use of an explosive device, a first-degree felony, and arson, a third-degree felony. When her boyfriend broke up with her, he found that his car the next day had been vandalized with red spray paint. The day after that, she had sent threatening messages to her ex-boyfriend saying that gang members were going to shoot up his house. And then later that day, the ex-boyfriend's aunt was in his house when she heard a loud bang, looked outside, and saw the car her nephew usually drove was on fire. On fire. Yeah. Investigators determined the fire was started by a Molotov cocktail thrown at the vehicle. Once again, her name is Katia Guadalupe Ontiveros Navarez. I would suggest you don't date her. Don't date her. Don't go out
flirt.
with her. Don't
just
flirt.
Look
away. Don't engage.
Don't even look.
Don't even have eye
contact.
Move along. Yeah.
Hey, my eyes are up here. No, they're not. I'm not looking.
One of those.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure which I like better, the fact that the kind of the escalation. I'm just going to do red spray paint. No, that's really not
It's
enough.
not enough.
Gang members, that's
Right.
good. No, you know what? Let's just get a nice Molotov cocktail and take out the entire auto.
I saw a picture online. You know what a pickaxe is? Think of the old miners back in, the 1800s. And it's just got two long points, right? And they're working in the mine like this. There was a picture of a guy's car, brand new car, beautiful. And someone evidently went out and bought 10 of them. And they went in and just
Are you serious?
embedded it and left it. And there's 10 of them all over the car.
Well, there's a statement.
Which
That's a statement. That's a big freaking statement. All right.
you're a big pick.
Let's go. Let's go to the big thank you, Christopher's. Now, the reason why we want to send you and 3 friends to Christopher's is, number 1, we adore you. Number 2, we're kind of stunned that you're still with the show, and we love you about that. And now that we're closing in, is it 1.5 million views by now?
Yeah, it's super.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it's over 1.5 million views. That was you. So that was so awesome. So we want to say thank you by sending you to Christopher's, and also with wonderful limousine service from Executive Transportation. To qualify, if you've been watching this far, all you have to do is drop a comment on our Facebook page right now, and boom, you're entered. We draw another winner on Friday. You can do that on our Facebook page, Todd and Erin. You can also do it on Gephardt Approved Facebook page or the Gephardt Daily Facebook page. And then we'll pick a winner from you for this Friday. So thank you again. It's the big thank you with Christopher's.
All right, we now have a salute to the boom gene. If you need a little grr this morning, Utah Warbirds Adventures. They're based out of Weber, and they were at the Sky Park in Bountiful. They had 2 of their planes out. You're going to see this: North American T6 and a 1961 Beach Model 18.
Ooh, I'd like to see
Just
that
words and numbers, but this is what they look like.
North American T6 is a World War II trainer. It is the most prolific trainer in the history of aviation. It was in military service for well over 50 years. Finished military service in 1998 and began pre-World War II. Widely recognized as the premier military trainer of all time. The T6 has a top speed of 230 miles an hour, has a Pratt & Whitney R1340 9-cylinder air-cooled radial engine that produces 600 horsepower. The unique sound that it has is from the tips going supersonic on takeoff, and commonly referred to not only as the pilot maker but the window rattler because of the noise that it made. It's tandem seating front and back. The instructor sat in the back, the pilot sat in the front. The plane weighs 5,000 pounds but is very, very light on the controls. I fly air shows with the airplane. It puts on a very graceful, beautiful big demo. It makes a lot of noise and puts out a lot of smoke. So this is a 1961 Beech Model 18, commonly referred to as the Twin Beech. This airplane was produced from the 1930s into the 1960s, and this is one of the later model ones. Just came out of a 20-year restoration, so the plane is basically like new. It cruises at 165 knots on 38 gallons an hour, has 2 450 horsepower Pratt & Whitney R985 radials. It carries 8 passengers. It's got about a 1,500 nautical mile range, 320 gallons of fuel, and it's not pressurized, not air conditioning. They didn't have those things back in the 50s for these type of airplanes, but it's very comfortable inside. It's got an executive interior, and it's a blast to fly.
It was actually a lot smoother than I thought it would be for a 50-year-old plane.
We're pretty fortunate in that we've been able to take what is our passion and turn it into a business. Flying these old airplanes is obviously not something that everybody gets an opportunity to do, and I recognize how special that is. So one of the main reasons that we do this is to keep the history alive, to honor the veterans, to honor the men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice for us to allow us to have our freedoms that we have today. We just love being able to both honor the past by doing what we do and inspire the future. We see the kids that come out to the airport, and I was a kid at an air show one day, and this is my opportunity to give back to them.
All those facts he was just rattling off, guess what? Didn't hear a word of it. Watching the planes.
What is it with guys and the plane thing? Because seriously, you're like an intelligent man. You were capable. No, but it's just watching you. No.
Are you saying that people who like planes are not intelligent?
No, you're completely missing the point. You sat there, that thing came on, and it's.
Oh, because I went like this.
It was
Look.
like me and cake on a diet, where it's like that's all I can look at. And you were just like pushing me aside, and you were staring at this thing like, this is so beautiful. I mean, I guess
She doesn't get it.
No, it was kind of cute to just see you so like utterly mesmerized. I guess it's just the gene or something.
She doesn't get it.
Because you were just beside yourself with excitement.
She doesn't get it.
All
right,
right, never
coming
mind.
up, the eclipse is yet again going to kill us all. And it has to do with rattlesnakes. And it's coming up
You
next.
saw that coming. Todd and Erin's Morning Stream, brought to you by Black Diamond Experts. Electric, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. You'll be glad you called an expert. Fink and McGregor, mortgages made simple. Make sure you go to fink-mcgregor.com and try out their 4-minute mortgage program. It's incredibly easy to find out whether you qualify. The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is actually available anytime at gephardtdaily.com. Just click on the Todd and Erin page.
Oh, look at you push me away in bed.
It's so funny. I was going to kiss you, but it's the morning breath. So I was like, whoa. Okay.
All right, idiot criminals.
This isn't even a criminal. This is why the story exhausts me. Scott J. Eckersley was accused in 2015 of taking scores of free tours and brochures out of stands owned by a competitor and then replacing him with his own materials. That's sleazy. That's cheesy. And it also apparently...
Because he paid for the space,
Yeah,
the other guy.
Exactly.
And the brochures. Okay.
Well, he was then, and it's not like they're not going to notice, so he was fairly quickly caught.
Right.
He was charged in June 2015 with 4 counts of commercial obstruction, which is a second-degree felony.
What?
There you go. So he
For
was
taking brochures.
well, no, but the thing is, it's commercial obstruction. This guy had paid
I
for all
know.
this stuff, and he's
Right.
cutting into his business by stealing it and bogarting the space and trying to take it for himself.
Oh, Bogart.
Okay, so he resolved the case through a deal with the prosecutors 2 months later, did a plea of abeyance to 2 Class A misdemeanor charges,
And over.
paid the court costs,
along.
completed anger management and thinking error programs,
Nothing to see here.
kept his record clean for 18 months, and all the charges are dismissed, okay?
3.
We're done.
2.
You made
1.
a mistake. It's okay.
Okay.
Now
It's not.
Scott J. Eckersley has filed a lawsuit seeking $1.5 million,
What?
as well as punitive damages from a Wasatch County Sheriff's Lieutenant, 2 prosecutors, and the county.
This is the guy who stole the brochures.
Yeah, he's the one who did all of this. He says the case did irreparable harm to his reputation
That's stealing.
and his advertising business.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you stole somebody else's
stuff.
And then caused continuing extreme mental and emotional anguish, outrage, trauma, distress, and relationship difficulties. Well, yeah, once again,
He's the victim.
Scott, let's just work through this again.
You
Stole the other guy's stuff.
then
You put your materials in a space, advertising space he had paid for, and you were caught. You went through the process. Everything was even dropped from your record, and now you're suing them for $1.5 million because they upset you.
Mm-hmm. I don't think the anger management thing worked out.
No.
1.6.
Yeah,
no.
and the thinking errors programs.
Right.
I'm thinking that was like a big F on that one.
What
I'm
is
not
that?
happy
What-
with his
what is-
results.
what's it called?
The thinking errors programs.
I don't understand how that works.
It's an error in thinking. They try to take you through the cognitive process of
Right.
where in this process do
Did
you feel
you-
like you made the error? Was
okay.
it stealing the other guy's material? Because
Right.
see, in the end, this is a relatively small thing. I mean, it's not for the guy who paid for all the advertising space,
Right.
but it's not like you murdered anybody. So you got caught, you got it fixed, it's all dropped, and now you decide you're going to bring yourself back into attention by trying to sue them for $1.5 million for the crime that you committed.
Just in case your friends didn't know about it, you can bring it back up.
Now they do. Isn't that great?
To enjoy the full exposure of your error. What?
Errors in thinking.
There you go.
I'm just thinking somewhere along the cognitive process, once again,
Right.
he might have missed the important part of, but you're the one who actually committed the
Yeah,
crime.
I know. But error in thinking.
Okay, then good luck with that. I hope it all works for you. Oh, no.
Eclipse. End of the world.
All right.
Ready to be a scientist?
Sure.
Be a scientist. Okay. So the deal is that it's getting worse and worse and worse.
Well, no, it's just that everybody's trying to over-prepare because they're now expecting almost 500,000 people will be somewhere along this, is it 70 miles?
70 miles wide.
70-mile band
Starts in
across the United States
Starts in Oregon.
where you can see the best shots of the eclipse.
The first ones in Oregon.
The total solar eclipse,
Right.
which you have to admit is pretty amazing. So now they're saying it's more than 1 million visitors. That's not scary at all.
In Oregon?
So basically, they're ramping up for the massive influx. It's very funny. You know what they actually did? They said we didn't have a precedent for this, for having 1 million people flood into like our town.
Right.
So they went to Sturgis.
Motorcycle deal.
They actually contacted South Dakota and said, "Look, you get like 500,000 people every year for the event in August. How do you even
Right.
go from little tiny town to..."
Right.
And so it was very funny. They said one of the key things we learned that there was a need for acute care services. So that means that food poisoning, broken bones, strokes, heart attacks, emergency surgeries for traumatic injuries.
Right.
So they've got an emergency plan ready to go. Now they actually
Wait. And this is from Sturgis, the motorcycle group meeting thing. So that means there's going to be a lot of topless women at the Eclipse things. So enjoy that.
I'm not sure that one counts.
Some buttless chaps.
These
and
poor
stuff.
guys, they had to cancel all the elective surgeries like hernia operations, joint repair. Like, so if you were trying to
They're
get your knee
putting them off?
replacement, you don't get to do it right now.
Scary this is.
It brought in 60 traveling nurses. They moved staff around, shifting doctors and nurses from non-clinical positions to the emergency room.
They also let them camp out in the parking lots with RVs and stuff, so they'll be closer to the hospital.
That's not a bad idea.
The nurses and stuff, they can run across, when everybody gets bit by a rattlesnake.
It's really sad. The hospital system stocked up on supplies, everything from extra gauze to saline solution to pharmaceuticals, extra blood from the Red Cross, nearly doubling their supply, extra antidote for rattlesnake bites. They said it's a little tricky because that is a short shelf life, so we have to bring it in just before.
We got to make it.
For all
we're milking.
rattles-
We're milking the rattlesnakes as we speak to make the anti-venom.
The Oregon Army National Guard has a Black Hawk helicopter available to transport patients.
Because they've added a couple to the helicopter crew.
I mean-
in case they need more people flown in because of rattlesnakes.
I mean, and God bless these people. That's only 1 million. This is 1 million visitors
Ugh.
just in Oregon. They're not even moving on to Idaho, which is, of course, the next part of the progression where
Is Rexburg ready?
I don't think anyone could be.
But better
Just
over.
like the rattlesnake
better
venom
over.
one.
I think the calling Sturgis is a brilliant idea.
Well, it kind of is if you think about it. We're a little town. We have no preparation. What do you guys do?
I thought, Burning Man would be another one, but that's only 65,000 people. We are talking about 1 million.
Flooding into one tiny area. Wow.
Over-prepared probably is the best
Well,
way to
God
go.
bless them. I mean,
Right?
I just.
But it's getting scary.
It's the extra antidote for rattlesnake bites.
It's like.
Is there going to be an influx of rattlesnakes in some way that I didn't know about?
Well, yeah, maybe when the eclipse happens, they're all in their holes and stuff, and they go, "What's going on?" And
they're
come
curious,
out,
and so they come out just
and
to check it out.
Bite people. They can't see. It's nighttime.
They're mad.
They bump into a person,
And they bite them on
and
the
they
leg.
bite them.
Okay.
I think
Could
that
be.
works. I think That's,
Sure, it could be.
That's basically how
So we
it's
hope you
gonna
feel
happen.
better, that you feel like you're more prepared now, and that you go get your rattlesnake anti-venom antidote.
Do you have a tell me something good? What do we have?
There's some really, really wonderful ones, but this one's local, which I really liked a lot. The end of Concord Street and Pierpont Avenue is a house where
I know that.
it's just,
Pierpont Avenue.
yeah, it's just dripping with peeling white paint. Gary and Linda Smith have lived in the home for more than a decade, along with a dozen or so neighborhood cats that stay in the couple's backyard garage. They collect the stray cats.
Okay.
They haven't been healthy in recent years enough to repair or repaint their property. They're basically kind of struggling on a very small income. So on Friday, 18 employees from U.S. Bank here in Salt Lake City, armed with paint rollers, brushes, ladders, and smiles,
Don't
volunteered.
use the word armed.
At this point, yeah, really. It's kind of cool. It's actually the Paint Your Heart Out event. They do it every year, the
Right.
Neighborhood Works Group. And Linda said, these people are a godsend, I tell you. They're an answer to my prayers. There was over 14 houses that were painted through Salt Lake City and Murray, and they were specifically picking people who might be health impacted,
Oh, nice.
on limited incomes, who just couldn't afford those kind of things. And for everybody, you don't want to see your home fall to pieces. You don't want those things to happen.
Do you
But
know how fast you could paint a house with 18 people?
it was really adorable. And they said, Shannon Feldmans, who is one of the commercial loans representatives from the bank, and she
Right.
said, I totally volunteered for this because it was so much better than being in the office.
Right.
She says, I was perfectly happy to. But it's really cool. She said that people have done this year after year after year, and every year all the bank employees go, who are we going to do this time?
Oh, funny.
And they're all excited by it. That's really inspiring.
That's
I love
funny.
that.
That's a great. Seriously, 18 people painting your house at the same time.
It's like a gang painting.
If it was a drive-by rolling, but if it was like a bungalow and stuff like that, you could have it done in an hour.
Well, you got to do all the
Well,
scraping first and get it all ready. Some patching.
Don't ruin my dream.
Okay, sorry.
Guess what's going through the roof? We haven't heard about Korea, have we, in the last couple of days?
That's
over the
true. It's been
weekend?
so much more exciting.
Because Nazis and KKK are just in the limelight. So anyway, back to the Korea thing, and this Japan is really going strong on this, is buying bomb shelters. Buying bomb shelters because of North Korea and because they've been launching missiles
I guess so.
towards Japan. So basically, right here in California, Atlas Survival, Ron Hubbard.
Is that L. Ron Hubbard?
I'm not sure.
No. It's not. He just is unfortunately named. There's no L in front of it. It's just Ron Hubbard. He's no relation to the Scientology thing. He just likes survival bungalows.
What a curse. And then the fact that he's running a shelter business.
I really like that because instead of calling me like they normally do, they actually are getting in their car and driving down now to see me to buy a shelter.
And they're doing it on the spot. And I don't know if you know this. There are tons of different shelters. Here's one being thrown into the ground. Here's the interior.
Oh, look at that.
And they come in all different shapes and sizes.
Oh, look, it's got some nice cabinetry in there. Oh, wow.
That's what they're bearing. Okay, so you can go down and get those, or there's other kinds that you have stairs built in, one piece, and you drop it in, you cover it without your neighbors knowing, because that's awkward when people are knocking and you're going, come in, we're nuclearly attacked, and you're like, no.
You see, this is UtahShelterSystems.com.
Yeah.
It's nice to know we have a local one
There's
that
local.
we can go to as well.
And a lot of people are doing this. Well, more than used to. But they call them bunkers and stuff, and I just don't...
Survival condo?
Yeah. They should come up with, like, the Unicorn Hut. Or
You think it would sound more cheerful?
Lollipop Pod.
It's better than, hey, you're all going to die because here's a nuclear bomb and you're squished in here with your rations.
One of the famous ones is this group is taking over Atlas silos that are buried in the ground. They used to be part of the missile tactical wing of the United States.
Don't you joke about that. You wanted one of those.
I so still do.
You still presented the case to me that we should buy one of those and live in it because you thought it was cool.
Not because I'm worried about anything. I just thought
He just thought it was cool.
Wicked cool. The regular ones, like you can put in your garage, like Panic Room and stuff like that, $10,000 you can have one of those put in your garage.
But those don't protect from nuclear fallout, do they?
Does that really matter? Survival condo, like you were saying,
I think
Atlas
that's
Missile
adorable.
Silo, a series of luxury condominiums, full floor condoms sold for $3 million. These things are huge. Here's the funny thing.
And he's made it into condos.
Yeah, half floor units are 900 square feet, and they sold for $1.5 million.
Wow.
$1.5 million.
You have to really love the apocalypse
Yeah.
to spend $1.5 million.
And they're sold out.
Get out!
They're sold out. They're looking for other silos to buy. You know why? Because listen to the amenities. Are you ready?
Oh, okay.
All right. Indoor shooting range. Isn't that what you got us in the trouble in the first place?
Yeah.
A pool, a dog park,
It has a dog park?
rock climbing wall, arcade. It's getting better. Exercise facility. You can grow hydroponic food, vegetables and stuff.
Digital weather station. Yep, still a nuclear holocaust.
And you're climbing a wall.
The dog park's the part that I'm just the most fascinated with. So that means that you're going to bring your pets?
It's your condo.
Yeah, but there's people out there who might
don't
be going,
think
hey,
there's
could I please come in?
I don't think there's an HMO. You know.
Home, yeah, I don't know what those are either.
Yeah.
Yes, I know what you mean.
All right, so we talked about shelters. We're going to talk about something. We got robbed over the weekend. We're going to have that coming up.
Oh,
We have
really?
a
That
tragic
sounds
story.
inspiring.
I'm going to try not to cry. All right, and
Yeah,
right now.
Be strong, be strong. That's going to be coming up in just a couple of minutes, along with the weirdest freaking thing they just found in the water off Rhode Island. Weirdest freaking thing ever. We'll tell you about it next. We're brought to you this morning by Executive Transportation. Elegant service, professional style. Go to executiveutah.com. And All Utah Plumbing. Your home deserves the best. 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com. Did you know you can catch the Todd and Erin Morning stream any time of the day or night on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and GephardtDaily.com? Oh, by the way, Branda Carlson said HOA. HOA
Facebook.
was
Yeah.
the name we were looking for the missile silos.
Home.
Organization
Now we're in
Association.
trouble again.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Brenda. At least
All
you
right.
got the initials right first.
No
We
dogs in the
appreciate that.
silo. No dogs in the silo.
Okay, tell me this is not the freakiest thing ever.
Okay.
They have found a strange object underwater
Underwater?
just off the shore of East Bench in Westerly, Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Only a place like Rhode Island would have a town called the Westerly.
Oh, God.
Let's go jump some horses and then see what's in the water.
Polo at noon.
No, this is so freaky. Peter Brockman's the president of the East Bench Association, and a statement of classic understatement said, "We took a closer look at it and we realized this thing doesn't belong here,
Is it-
and we wanted to figure out what it was."
What is it?
Can you show a picture of this?
Do we have some? What?
What the hell is that?
Oh, my
I'm sorry for
gosh.
swearing, but what the hell is that?
You swore again.
I know, but look at it. What is that?
How big is that?
The object's been sitting on the ocean floor. It's too heavy to move. In hopes of identifying it, Brockman showed the pictures of the object to the Navy, area fishermen, a
Right.
local wind farm,
Right.
the University of Rhode Island oceanographers.
I know what it is.
Nobody can tell him what it is.
I know what it is.
Marshall Rubin of Westerly was so intrigued he even tried to pull it up with his boat, and he says, "I couldn't even budge it,
Right.
not a little bit, and you can't tell how deep it goes
Right.
into the
I
sand
know what it is.
either." What do you think it is?
Christmas tree stand.
It's way too big for that.
No, big Christmas tree. Like on the
How?
White House lawn. Look
Okay.
at the circle is in the
Dude,
center. The
they
legs
had a
go out for
5
stability, like that. That's what it is. Thank you very much. I'm going home.
Dude, the guy had a 5-ton winch and he couldn't pull it up.
Big Christmas tree coming its way. So they don't know. It might be anchored.
It's a 4-foot wide metal object below the surface of the sea,
And they can't
but
lift
it's
it.
so heavy they cannot pull it up with a 5-ton winch.
So there must be something underneath.
Is that the scariest thing ever? It's a man-made object, they say. We know this much. It looks to be stainless steel. Some parts look like they might be encased in concrete. And they say it's got 9 legs that come down and that are buried in the sand. It's part of a dome. But they said no one knows how deep it's buried, how it even got there.
Atlantis.
But they said that we've been over this area a million times.
And never seen.
And nobody has spotted this before last week, meaning that it had to have popped up or in or down or around sometime
from
in the
outer-
last week.
From outer space. Evidently, aliens like Christmas.
Oh, and here, this is weird. Some swimmers managed to pull off a piece of purple fabric that was wedged underneath it.
Oh, purple.
So this thing just showed up. It's too heavy to lift with a 5-ton winch,
Right.
4 feet across, and
Right.
nobody can identify what it is.
And?
Not the Navy, the oceanographers, anybody.
And what they pull out?
A little piece of purple fabric that is wedged under
So
it.
this thing.
Could it be like a parachute or something?
This killed Prince is basically what. Maybe not.
Well, that's insensitive.
Only because it's not true, and you know that. It's funny though.
All right, we're going to go to Daisy back in the gallery.
I'm sticking
Daily
with the
Newsroom.
Christmas tree deal.
She's brought to you by Fink and McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. Just go to fink-mcgregor.com. Also by Executive Transportation with elegant limousine service from our friend March. Just go to Executive Utah to book
Ouch.
your ride. And Black Diamond Experts, electric, plumbing, heating, and air with delightful
Pinching
24-hour service. You'll be glad you called it expert. BlackDiamondExperts.com. Daisy, what's going on today?
Hello again, everyone. Here's a look at national and world news headlines for Monday, August 14th on GebhartDaily.com. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has released a statement decrying racial intolerance and calling for peace and compassion in the wake of the white supremacist terror attack Saturday in Charlottesville, Virginia. The church said it views the violence with great sadness and deep concern and hearkened to the words of LDS prophet Gordon B. Hinckley, who said that no man who makes disparaging remarks concerning those of another race can consider himself a true disciple of Christ. 2 U.S. soldiers have been killed and 5 others wounded in northern Iraq. The cause of the casualties has not been released, but initial reports indicate it was not due to enemy contact. So far, Operation Inherent Resolve against the Islamic State has claimed the lives of 43 U.S. soldiers since the mission began in 2014. And closer to home, another Powerball drawing has come and gone without a winning ticket. As a result, the lottery jackpot now stands at a whopping $430 million. The next Powerball drawing will happen on Wednesday. So Idaho, here we come. That's it for now. For more headlines from across the country and the world, go to GebhartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, Daisy.
Okay, so if we leave at noon, we can get to Idaho.
Yeah, let's hit Evanston. That's the closest, right?
Evanston for the lottery tickets, $430 million.
Now, of course, so we're going to be taking some...
Hey, yeah.
You want to go to Evanston
Because I know
because you can stay anonymous.
you don't have to tell any. Is it this? It's the same lottery though, right?
It's exactly.
It's the same lottery.
Interesting.
So not only can you get fireworks and cheap booze, you can go unknown if you win $430 million.
All right, we're gonna start making a list. Anyone on Facebook Live, if you want to start chipping in on the page, or let us know what you want us to pick up for
Isn't
you.
that illegal?
No, we're just running errands for friends.
Across the border?
Yeah. And if you want the cheap booze and fireworks, we always stop by.
$430 million. First thing you do?
Don't tell anybody.
Number 2. We've talked about this a lot, so we have a plan.
430. Oh, is this where we buy an island and we just go away?
That's my part, but you can come. No, the big deal is the fact that, and I've because this fascinates me. The first thing you do is you don't tell anybody. You don't have them publish
You
your
don't
name.
do the press conference. That was a good point. You go anonymous.
You go, and you get a financial advisor, a lawyer, and you do that, and then you put the money, the bulk of it, and you stash it like in a CD, something stupid, and so you can't touch it. And you keep a couple $100,000 for yourself to play with, right? And then from then on, you do buy the island, but everything else you lease. Because you go, oh, I'm going to buy a yacht. It'd be like an RV. You use it the first year, and then it sits in your driveway. So they say lease everything you want to do, and then move forward with your life. Number 8, sit down with your entire family and ask them what their mortgages are and their balances.
That I would love.
And then you pay them. Wouldn't that be a fun dinner table Thanksgiving, right? And
Put up a
everybody
big
gets
fund
theirs.
for like college, all of the college expenses for all the cousins.
And then the final rule is don't ever talk to me about money again. I just paid off your house. We are now done. Don't come to me with an invention about like a solar flashlight or something. Just, we're done. Let's just be a family. Enjoy your homes without making payments.
I think it's amazing. As I recall, the bankruptcy rate for lottery winners is something insane. It's like 75%. Like 75% of lottery winners go bankrupt. They have to declare bankruptcy because so many people. You get this gigantic, ridiculous chunk of money, and you're like.
They've been killed before too.
And really tragic things.
And have been sued by their families.
Sued by your own families and stuff. So yeah, it's
One guy died.
Maybe just not tell
Anybody.
No. There's actually a really interesting story from Todd's sister's hometown where everyone is pretty sure that the principal of the high school there won the lottery.
Something.
Because they knew that the winning ticket had been from that area. And he has never said anything, but all of a sudden there were certain things like the road leading to the school has been completely repaved. And there's been like some scholarships that came out of nowhere by anonymous that have been sending kids to school,
What's that about?
to college. I just love that idea though.
The basketball hoops are made with gold.
So they can't pinpoint it, but they're like, but all these great things have been
So
happening
funny.
at the school. And it's like,
And
that's the way to do it. I would love that you're like the silent do-gooder that just comes up and you're the one slipping the $100 in the Salvation Army bucket at Christmas.
And you can set up an LLC, and so if you write a check to someone, it's not your name, it's a mysterious.
They'll never know.
They'll never know.
See, that's the way to do it.
Then you buy the island, and I go there for a month by myself just to make sure it was okay, and then we bring the kids and her. So then everyone is happy.
You go to the island, I'll be buying Tom Hiddleston. And a yacht.
I want an island and a spear gun.
That's
We know.
We're all excited. We're going to go get the tickets. We're getting in the car.
We're not buying any for you.
Let's make a list.
You're not getting any.
Jill says, let's just carpool. I promise it's going to be a party.
On Facebook.
And she says, I promise to share if I win. My husband and I have the same plan. Stay anonymous, get a lawyer, give the family money, then get the hell out of Dodge till everyone forgets we won the money.
Or you can buy
Jill,
Dodge.
that is freaking genius. That really is.
That's really good.
You're absolutely correct. So yeah, a little road trip party.
Sell everything. Get in an RV.
Road trip party.
Have somebody else drive it. You're done.
Evanston. Evanston is how far from here? About an hour and a half?
Oh. Hour?
About an hour?
Hour to get fireworks.
How long for the cycle of getting the lottery tickets, then the fireworks, then the booze?
An hour and 15 minutes.
This is from our photographer Richard, who understands.
Videographer.
Cameraman?
Yeah. So let's
This
move
is
on.
why we don't have the little devices that make everything silent for you, because we actually
We can
really
hear
enjoy
them.
the commentary from the Peanut Gallery.
We
We
don't
think you
want-
probably do too. Jill, I'm with you. Let's get the car going. Fill it up with gas. We're on our way.
All
Evanston.
right. All right. So that is crazy. You want to do a shout out now?
Yes, I think we probably should. Black Diamond Experts. Now, Black Diamond Experts, that's plumbing, heating, electric, air, everything. They understand what it's like when you're trying to get something fixed in the house. Number one, if it's an emergency, it's usually at 2 in the morning and your basement's filled with sewage. So in that particular case, you want to call them because they have 24-hour service. The second thing that's, I think, a little bit more smart is the fact that these are the people that you can count on, you can trust. I get paranoid about people coming into my house just because of my kids, and do I know you? Do I feel comfortable? These guys are licensed, bonded, and insured. You know who showed up from Black Diamond Experts is going to be this person, and they take really good care. They wear the booties. They go through the house. They go through the options with you and write you out a quote. And when you pay, after they finish the job and it's done well, the quote will be exactly what you pay. There will be any little surprise ending fees, because I've seen a lot of those, and I hate them. Now, look, if you want more information, just go to blackdiamondexperts.com. You'll be glad you called an expert. What are you doing with the paper airplane?
This just flew in from the guys in the back room here.
Really?
We're sorry about what we said. We really want some lottery tickets and
And booze.
Screw you. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? You know why?
don't mind getting them.
We're the talent. It's an inside joke. Never mind. So now we get to be depressed because over the weekend we're renting a house. We got a house, and we're really happy. And for some reason, Erin wants to landscape right off the bat. And it's a
And so
rental.
we're going to tell you about that next. And
It's not fair.
What an ill-advised decision that was.
I'm missing stuff now.
Coming up next, yeah. We're brought to you this morning by Executive Transportation. Elegant service, professional style. Go to executiveutah.com. And All Utah Plumbing. Your home deserves the best. 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com. Did you know you can catch the Todd and Erin Morning stream any time of the day or night on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and GephardtDaily.com?
All right, so over the weekend, we did some landscaping. I got our utility trailer. It's mine. I've had it for, 10 years.
And it's been incredibly handy.
It's
like
my
it helped
tool.
us
It's a
move.
tool.
Yeah, but it's helped us move. We
Right.
did a ton of stuff before the movers
So
came. And
I was lucky enough to be at the county landfill at 8 a.m. on Saturday they do composting and they do wood chips and stuff like that. Filled up the trailer, brought it home, put it all out, planted some plants. It was great.
it was a lot of work.
It was tough. And then we got done.
And then there was half of it left. We were going to do the backyard the next day,
Yeah.
get it all barked out so it looked pretty.
And then someone came and stole my trailer and a bunch of tools.
Literally right in front of the door.
It's a utility
Someone
trailer.
literally walked up to like our front door and stole everything that was out there, including your blower and all the tools and
We call that a leaf blower.
bark.
Yeah, and your bark.
Bark.
She's like
That was
so
the first thing I
concerned.
said. I said, the bark is gone. He goes, my trailer is gone, you idiot.
Screw your bark. I just got to tell
Yeah,
you,
but
it
now we
is-
don't have a trailer, so I
No,
can't
it-
get any more bark.
To be totally honest, it is such a violation. And you probably have had stuff stolen before. Is that thing about, we're just going to take it. And, Aaron wanted justice, wanted to call the police. There are no markings on these trailers. It's a yard team. People who do mowing and weeding now own my trailer.
You can't be sure it's them.
Well, it's someone that's mostly what people use them for.
I know.
She was angry. She called the cops. And I went, you can't call the cops. They don't care. They don't care about a $5,000 boat or a $5,000 bicycle that got stolen. And it's not their job. They're out fighting crime.
I know, but I just don't understand it. It's like you actually saved up to get that trailer, and you actually built on all the wood to save money, and it's just, I don't understand how people can. Didn't anyone's parents ever raise them to going, you're not supposed to take other people's things?
They don't
Or do
care.
you just feel justified? Like if you see it and you want it and you can steal it, you can?
I could be a blind 80-year-old man with no legs, and they would still steal from you. They just do. They don't care. So anyway.
That's so mean. I know. Thank you. Jill
trailer is gone.
Jill says, "What freaking losers? Why do people take stuff that is not theirs? So annoying." Yes, I know. Brenda says people are jerks. I agree with you. It's extremely sucky. I know, Anne. It ticks me off too. And you're right, though. It is frustrating. There's nothing you can do. It's just, I guess, it's reality.
So I want
But
you
there
to.
should be some sort of karmic punishment. Like the
Right.
next day, they get buried, smothered under a load of mulch. No,
There is
manure.
One, there is one thing you can do.
Manure.
Just go to my GoFundMe page. Todd needs a trailer. You'll see all the information you need, and you can.
No,
Mind.
no, dear.
Never mind. All right, more people chipping in. More people chipping in. Is that true?
No, I absolutely love this.
And that's coming up
Okay.
next.
This is pretty random. We'll actually do it right now.
Okay.
Shoplifters don't usually get a second chance. You get caught, you go. You get in trouble. You get. What now, guys?
I screwed up, and that's why they laugh. Move on.
I hate you both. I hate you both back there.
I do
We're
too.
gonna get the little listening things now, okay?
No,
just,
we're not.
just because of you. All right. This kid had been caught attempting to steal a dress shirt, tie, and socks from a Walmart
Stealing
earlier
again.
this week.
Criminals.
So the officer, Erin Jensen, was called onto the scene by the store's loss prevention officer. Ooh, they have one of those.
What was it called?
Loss prevention officer.
Product retention officer at Smith's.
They were detained. So, upon talking to the perpetrator, though, the officer discovered the man had literally stolen the products because he was trying to get dressed for a job interview. He had been homeless. He had a job interview, and he wanted to try to look decent, and he felt like the only option he had, because he had no money or anything, is that his shoplifting was his option.
Right.
So the young man was released without any charges from the store. And the officer then secretly bought the clothes, and he gave them to the boy for his job interview. And then he said, let's sit down. We're going to do a mock interview together. We'll talk through it so you know what you're saying.
Right.
And then he picked up the kid from the shelter the next day and drove him to his job interview and waited outside and then drove him back. He said, look, he was trying to straighten out his life. I thought he deserved more of a chance than that, and so I did it.
And he's Canadian, eh?
How many police officers do you know that would go, I will buy this shoplifter the stuff he was trying to steal?
I think there's probably more than you think, but it is still a rarity.
I absolutely love this guy, though. The fact, though, that he worked with him on, like, the job interview skills.
Right.
And, like, he drove him to the interview and waited for him.
We saw that story last year where a guy got pulled over, he was speeding, and the cop came up and he said, what's going on? He asked him to step out of the car. Same kind of deal. He's going on an interview, and the cop, he doesn't know how to tie a tie. And so the cop ties the tie for him and does the same thing and goes through the fact that they're going to ask you questions. Are you ready to, sit up straight, answer directly, go through it? And he just ran through it. Once again, taking the time.
I thought that was absolutely gorgeous. My fingers crossed that kid got his job. But if not, I'm assuming by this much publicity, somebody's going to hire him. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for him. Okay, what was this about coffins?
Okay.
This is
Let
creepy.
me do this.
Okay,
Prepare to cry.
all right.
Usually Erin's job. Today, it's me.
Already.
Velva, which is a cool name.
Velva and Raymond Brewer.
They just celebrated their 77th wedding anniversary. Oh my gosh.
Are you serious?
77. Yeah. And they were in Phelps County in Dawson. And they went and they met at a primary school, a one-room schoolhouse. And they lived close to each other. They did farming, both their families. And so they kind of knew each other and stuff. And as they advanced and stuff, they were holding hands and walking side by side. And from that point, they were separated very seldomly. They were always together. And now still, they snuggle, they hold hands, and they do the work. Now, Raymond was 97 and Velva was 96. They had 6 children, 4 boys, 2 girls.
Oh, and this is when they celebrated their anniversary?
Right. And they had 18 grandkids.
Oh my gosh.
Now, what happened is on the 77th anniversary, Raymond passed away. He passed away. And
Oh my gosh.
and they were all making funeral arrangements. And everybody was
Velva must have just been
very sad.
heartbroken. Oh
sad.
my gosh.
30 hours after he died, she passed away. 30 hours. And this is when they were little.
Oh my God, they're so adorable. Look at her hair.
So now,
they're so cute.
Now the decision for the family of what they were going to do, because obviously they handled a lot of the arrangements for for him because she is 97 years old. And so they make a decision, and they buried them together, holding hands in the same coffin. How about them potatoes?
In the end, isn't that what everybody wants?
Yeah, yeah.
That you're tiny and ancient and
30
old, but in
hours.
the end, you're still badly
30
in love.
hours. They couldn't be without each other.
This is really how you wanted to end the show.
Yeah. It's a
This is
great
seriously-
story. This is the Todd and Erin Morning stream on GetPartDaily.com.
Wow.